Hello everyone, welcome back to the video. And in this video, we're going to discuss all the different types of operators that we have in Python. Now, already we have discussed about the arithmetic operator in one of the previous video, but we are going to discuss that again and the other operators that Python has. So I'm going to repeat few things in this video. Okay, so let us begin the operators in Python. Okay, that is the different operators. Okay, different operators in Python. So the first one that we have already discussed in one of the previous video, that is arithmetic operator. Okay, and the second that we have is the relational operator, which is used for the comparison, the relational operators. Then the third that we have is the assignment operator, which is normally we are using it all the time. And the fourth we have is the logical operator, the logical operators. And then we have the bitwise operator. Then sixth we have is the membership operator. Okay. And at the last, what we have is the identity operator. Now, in this video, I'm just going to, you know, discuss all of them, okay, and as much as possible in detail. So already we have discussed about the arithmetic operator, which is very simple to understand. Arithmetic means for mathematical calculation. So the arithmetic operators will go something like this. I'm going to shift it aside and very quickly we will discuss that arithmetic operator, which I have already discussed. So let us do it again. So arithmetic operator, if A is equal to 2, B is equal to 5, so we can do some mathematical calculations like we have the plus operator. So I can add A plus B. So that is the plus operator over here, right? And I can assign it to C if I want. Then we have the subtraction, that is A minus B. Okay, then what I can do is that is the minus sign. Then I have a, that is the asterisk character, which we normally call it as the star character. So that is the product. So this will be the product multiplication, right? This is going to give the product. Then we have the front slash, which is used for division, right? So this was for the addition and this was for the subtraction. So then we have is the floor division. That's the floor division. Now floor division is the difference which we have already discussed is a division. For example, I will take different values over here. Uh, if this is 5 and this is 2, so A is 5, B is 2. So if I divide A by B, the answer will be 2.5 with a normal division. But if I use a floor division, then the decimal part will be ignored. So the answer will be only the integer part will be taken. So the answer over here will be 2. And that is the basic difference between a division and floor division. So whenever we do not want the decimal part, we only want the integer part, then we will go for the floor division. Then what we have next is that is the percentage sign, which we call it as modulus, or in simple words, it is mod operator. So mod operator, basically A is going to get divided by B if I do it this way. So A will be divided by B, but we are going to take the remainder part. So in this case, if A is 5 and B is 2, so the remainder will be 1. So that's the percentage sign, which we call it as the modulus, the mod operator. So in any case, if you want the remainder part of the division, then we are going to use the mod operator. And then what we have is the double star, and that is the exponent. So this will be A to the power B. So if the value of A is 5 and B is 2, so that will be A to the power B. So that will be 5 raised to 2, that is 25. So these are the simple mathematical operators by which we can perform the mathematical calculations using these operators. Now comes the second, that is the relational operator. And I'm going to shift it over here. Let us discuss very quickly. That is the relational operator. The relational operator, it is used for comparison, like less than, equal to, less than or equal to, we call it that. And these are like together. Please understand, there is no space. Less than or equal to. Similarly, we have greater than, or equal to. Okay, then what we have is equal to. Now this is equal to. Two assignment operators will be considered as equal to. So we are comparing two values, A equal to B. Then what we have is not equal to, and this is how it is, not equal to. Okay, so these are the relational operators. So what happens with these relational operators is they are going to generate a Boolean value. This is very, very important to understand. Boolean means, at least Boolean means either it can be true or false. That is what Boolean means. So if I say A less than B, so it is going to give me either true or it is going to give me false. So relational operator will produce a Boolean value, either true or either false. Please remember that. Okay. So these are the, the relational operator for comparing the values, like A equal to B, A not equal to B, and it is going to give me some Boolean value. In fact, if we have some values like A, okay, shift it. If I have some values like, you know, like A is equal to 5, B is equal to 2, and then I can simply use a print function and I can do the comparison, A greater than B. So in this case, the value of A is 5 and the value of B is 2. So obviously A is bigger than B. So this is going to print on the screen, it will print a Boolean value that is true. Okay. Had this been the case, like print A less than B, so it is going to print on the screen that is false, the Boolean value. As I said, these relational operators, they are going to produce a Boolean value. So these are the relational operator. Now the third that we have is very much that we have using is the assignment operator. Assignment operator means like assigning the, okay, assignment operator, right? We have already used this. This is like A. When we normally say this A equal to 2, but basically what we are doing over here is we are assigning the value of 2 to A. So from the right hand side to the left hand side. So we are assigning this value to A. This is what we say. And this one single equal to basically is a assignment operator. So A is equal to 5. This becomes an assignment operator. We are assigning a value to a variable. Now, please remember that we also have something like the shortcuts in the with the assignment operator. For example, if I want something like this, A equal to A plus 1. Okay, so obviously the value of A is 5. So this will be 5 plus 1. It becomes 6 over here. And again, it gets assigned to A. So the value of A will change to 6. Now the current value will be 6. Since this is an integer variable, it is going to store only one number at one time, right? So the current value will become 6. So this format that we have, A is equal to A plus 1, can also be written with a short form that we have is A plus equal to 1, which means A is equal to A plus 1. So if the value of A is 5, and if I simply write A plus equal to 1, and please remember, plus equal to, they should be together and there shouldn't be any space between them. So plus equal to 1, which basically means A is equal to A plus 1. Okay. So if I say something like A plus equal to 2, this will mean A is equal to A plus 2. I can use this with all the operators. In fact, I can use this something like this, A, slash equal to 2. Now, what does this mean? This means A is equal to A divided by 2. This is what it means. I can also have the floor division, right? like this, a double slash equal to 2. So this means a is equal to a floor division 2, right? I can have the product a star equal to 5. So this will mean a is equal to a into 5. This is what it means. So these are the some of the short forms they normally we can use in Python. So do remember this. Okay. Now what we have is the logical operator. So the logical operators. The logical operators basically are the logical operators. That is and. Now this and, it is a keyword, and then or and not. So whenever you type this, if you type this in ideally, so this will be in, by default, it will be in orange color. So all these are keywords. Now these are reserved words. Now what does that mean? Is like I cannot have a variable like a and d is equal to 5. I cannot have a variable with the name that is already been reserved. The word that is already been reserved. These are keywords. So normally it will not give you an error, but yeah, you should not use them because they are the keywords. So I cannot have a variable like and or is equal to 2. Okay. Regarding the the rules of the variables that we will discuss later on, but I cannot have a keyword as my variable name. Okay, I can have A, B, C, that is completely fine, but I cannot have and or not. These are reserved words. Similarly, we have if, for, while. These are all reserved words of Python. These are the keywords of Python. We have around 32 or 33 keywords in total keywords that we have it in Python. Okay. So these are the logical operators. They don't look like operators, right? Just like the arithmetic operators, but they are the operators. Now, how do they work like? Okay, they work, I will just show it to you. And basically means joining two conditions. Okay, so it means like I can say A greater than B and maybe A greater than and a constant 20. I can do it this way. So what does this mean? This means that if A is greater than B and A is greater than 20, only then this entire expression that we are comparing will become true. Only if all the conditions are true. And if you're aware of the Boolean algebra, in Boolean algebra, we have and or. So for example, if there is X, okay, if we have X over here, I will do it. So we have X and Y, and we have the value 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. So these are like only true and false and nothing more than that. 0 represents false, 1 represents that is true. And if I have the and over here, so this becomes 0, 0 is anyway 0. Okay, if there is, even if there is 1, 0, everything becomes 0, 0. Only when all are true, as you can see, both are 1, only then it becomes 1, right? So what does this mean? This means like all the conditions should be, all the conditions should be true. Just a minute. Okay, just like what I've shown over here. All the conditions should be true. So if A is greater than B and A is greater than 20, only then the entire expression becomes true. Both the conditions should be true. If this is true, but this is false, the entire expression will become, it will become false. Even if one of the condition is, one of the comparison is false, the entire expression becomes false. Okay, you have to remember this. Now, similarly, what we have is the or. Okay, or is okay, yeah, or it will be like this. Similarly, we have or, and it will be like A greater than B or A greater than 20. So what does this mean? This means either of the conditions should be true. If this is true and this is false, but still the entire expression will become true. How does this work like? This is x, this is y, and I say x plus y. That's the notation. So this is 0, 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 1, 1. And as I told you, it is all true, false, and nothing. So if both are false, then obviously it is going to be 0, false. If even one, if it is true, it becomes true. So over here, this is true, it becomes true. Both are true is anyway true, right? So even if one of the condition is true, the entire expression becomes true. If all are false, only in that case it becomes false. So do remember that, okay? And then what we have is the not, okay? Is the not, and not works like this. Not is basically a negation. So if I say not of true, not of true will become false, the reverse of it, and not of false, okay, becomes true. Simple as that. So if I say a greater than b, if this is true, if the value of a is bigger than b, and if I just have not over here, so obviously then it becomes the reverse of it, and that is false. So this is how the not works. So these are the logical operators. Now let us move to next. That is, we have is the bitwise operator. The bitwise. Now in bitwise, we have that is and, we have this character which is or, and this character normally you find it with the key that is in the main keyboard that we have the numbers with the 6 digit. Maybe it's something different with you, but yeah, normally it's with the 6 digit. Okay, so we have to press shift, and then we have the tilde operator. Okay, the tilde operator, and then we have this together, that is the left shift, sorry, this is the right shift and this is the left shift operator, and they are together. So they are like two greater than sign and two less than sign. It makes them a bitwise left shift and bitwise uh, right and left shift operator. So these are the bitwise operator. Now we are not going to much work with them, but still you need to know for exam point of view. So how do they work like? So if I say like maybe 10 and 7. Now over here, this and also works like an and, which I've just discussed with you. That is the and, that is 0, 0, whatever, the table that I've shown you, the Boolean table. It works the similar way. So 10. Now, if you are aware of the binary number system, so 10 basically represents 1, 0, 1, 0 in binary form, and 7 basically will be 0, 1, 1, 1. So these are the binary representation of 10 and 7, and we can simply take a and of it. So 0 and 1 and. So if it is and, it has to be, both should be 1, only then it becomes 1. So this is 0, so obviously this becomes 0. This is 1, 1, so then it becomes 1. This will become 0 and 0. So 10 and 7 will give the answer. So this 0010 is basically nothing but the decimal value is 2. So 10 and 7 will become 2. Tilde operator is basically the ones complement. So if I have a tilde a 10, so 10 basically that is 1010 in binary. So I will just take ones complement to it and it becomes 1101, and this is 11. So this becomes, actually it is for the negative representation of numbers, so this becomes minus 11. Okay, and then we have is the that is the right shift and left shift. So right shift is basically if I do something like 10 and I shift that with 1, so it is a shifting of bits basically. So that is now if you really take the 8-bit representation, so 0000, and then 10, that is 1010, and I shift it to the right. So what is going to happen? This is going to go, every bit will shift to the right, and we will add 10 at the left. So this happens like 0 0 0 0. So I will add 10, and every bit is going to get shift towards the right? Okay, so this will be something like this. So this will come down to, that is 1 2 4 and 1 0 towards the right. So this will be like 1 2 and 4, so this becomes 5. Okay, if you just shift that. Okay, so these are the bitwise operators. Now the very last that we have is the very last that we have in fact the second last that we have is, that is the membership operator. The membership operator. The membership operator is in and not in. So these are like for checking the existence of value. So if I simply say A in apple, right? It will check for that character whether it is present in this sequence or not, and this, it works with the sequence like list and strings. So I can also have something like maybe number 2 in, and there is a list. Now we're going to look at the list in the future, something like this. So it checks for the existence of the value in the sequence. So in and not in. So not in is basically the negation. Again, this is a logical operator, basically we use it together. So in and not in. And then we have is, okay, the last is the identity operator. The identity operator. Now identity operator is and not is. So this is basically checking for the same objects. So if A is now it's very important to have mutable objects, then only we can show an example. So if this is list. Now list is mutable. Now we're going to look at the list in the future, and B is also the same, A comma 2. Okay, and I give C is equal to A. So now C and A, they will be the same objects basically. So if I say C is A, so this is going to give me true. Okay, the condition will become, it's like checking uh, the the identity whether the objects are same or not. Okay, so that is how the comparison is done. And similarly we have the not in. Okay, so if we give something like this, whether A is B, now I'm saying C is A, since I have assigned A to C, this is going to give me true, but this will give me false because they are different objects. Basically A and B are two different objects. But if I give something like A equal to B using that relational operator, in that case it is going to give me true. Okay, so we'll see to this. Is operator also not much we are going to use. Maybe we have such a requirement where we need to compare the objects. In that case, maybe we are going to use this. So these are all the operators in Python. We have covered all the 7 operators in Python. It is requires a bit of practice. So if you want to become a coder, so please follow the series and keep on practicing what we have done. The theory, you need to implement it. Okay, and we will do that in the upcoming videos. Thank you so much.